What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTP Sports. After not recapping last night's game, basically the last time we talked, the Phillies blew out the Minnesota Twins on Friday, scoring 13 runs. And now that we're back and we talk about the Phillies today, we're talking about, sadly, a series loss to the Minnesota Twins, losing the last two games. The offense gets basically shut down by Pablo Lopez and Sonny Gray today. And yeah, sadly, that's the case. You ran into two pitchers that have been, basically been really good all year. The offense, they go 0 for 14 with runners in scoring positions in the last two games. Yeah, that's not a recipe for success. And yesterday, Taijuan Walker once again dealt with the velocity issues in the start of the ball game, and sadly, he just wasn't able to settle down like he has been in past starts, and that spiraled out of control to where the Twins are just hitting home runs all over the place. Marte, Soto, they're struggling as well yesterday, and that resulted in an 8-1 loss. Marte gets sent down today. Ortiz gets called back up to replace him. You go into today, Ranger Suarez, I thought overall today was probably one of his better starts than he has in his past, so that's definitely something for Ranger to build off of going forward. I thought, he was allowing a little too much hard contact in the beginning of the game, but, he was striking guys out, getting quick and efficient innings. Got into some trouble, but he managed to work out of those situations as well, so that definitely is a good sign for Ranger. But offensively today, you had chances. You had plenty of chances to score. Second inning, you get bases loaded, 2 outs for Kyle Schwarber. He strikes out. Then you don't get a hit for a while at that point. Like, you're borderline a while. The next time you get a hit is when the Twins go to the bullpen. For some odd reason, they take Sonny Gray out of the game. Before the 7th inning, he only had 80 pitches on his pitch count, and I'm thinking to myself, whoa, are the Twins, being stupid here? Like, what the hell are they doing? This guy's just mowing down the Phillies lineup. Why are they taking him out? Okay, boys, go out there, make them pay for being stupid. They almost did. They get bases loaded once again, and Kyle Schwarber pops up. So, Kyle Schwarber 2 times today was not able to help you. That can't happen. 2 times with the bases loaded. That can't help you. And then Alec Bohm works a really good at bat, taking some pitches, works it to a 3-2 count, and the call of the game, basically. Like, this moment right here, Alec Bohm's at bat was the game. Because if Alec Bohm, say, walks in this situation, you get Bryce Harper up with bases loaded, 2 outs, and maybe a chance to score some more runs and possibly even take the lead. But no, because little old home plate umpire McKay decided to, on an inside pitch right at Bohm's stomach, inside pitch completely off the plate, this dude decides to ring Bohm up. Bohm slams the bat, gets fined for it, yells at the umpire, "Hey, fuck you, you piece of shit." That's not what he said. I'm just inferring there. Bohm gets tossed. Inning ends. Seriously, like I said, that's the game right there. That's the game. And the more that I look at it, the more that I look at the replay, it's just, dude, how are you that bad at your fucking job? And then, to make matters worse, he does it again. He does it again the very next inning, ringing Bryce Harper up on a low pitch. Bryce Harper gets furious. Rob has to hold him back as Rob goes out to yell at the fucking umpire for, being so fucking terrible at his job. Rob gets ejected. Sadly, that just wasn't the case because the Phillies were just overly frustrated at that point. Bottom of the 8th, they strike out the side. And then maybe they have a chance in the bottom of the 9th to do something. Trey Turner with a leadoff single. Stubbs up. Very unfortunate, actually. It was just unlucky. Gets barrel on the bat. Makes very good contact. Lines it right to the first baseman, Joey Gallo, for a double play. Like, what the fuck are you supposed to do in that situation? They're playing no doubles defense, apparently. Trying to keep Turner on. I guess it worked. And it turns into a very, sour taste feeling end of the series and an end of the homestand where you go 6-4. Where I did ask for this homestand to go 7-3. Yeah, I'm frustrated about that. I'm frustrated with the way that the offense looked in these past 2 games. Definitely. No doubt. You have a complete right to be frustrated about that. But what I'm going to do, and this is not something that I've done all year, I have been very expression of my frustrations to this baseball team. But I'm going to look at this homestand as a whole. And no, I'm still not accepting of a 6-4 homestand. That's not what I'm saying. I'm looking at what the offense did this entire homestand. Granted, yes, they got completely shut down these last 2 games. And yet people are going to bring up, oh, but it was the Kansas City Royals. Oh, but it was the Washington Nationals. Those teams stink. You should be scoring a bunch of runs against those teams. Granted, that point of the statement is correct. Yes, you should be scoring a bunch of runs against teams like the Royals and the Nationals. But this team needed a stretch like that with the way the offense was hitting, with the way the power was going, hitting home runs all over the place, hitting with guys on, hitting multi-run home runs. And the most thing that I'm taking from this homestand is Trea Turner has gotten a 10-game hitting streak since the standing ovation on Saturday. Trea Turner is back. Trea Turner, that's what I'm taking away from this entire homestand. Because you got Trea Turner back. Us, the fans. The fans were one of the major reasons responsible for helping Trea Turner find his confidence and find his game. Because he looks like a completely different hitter at the plate. Completely. He wasn't the reason why they lost last night. He went 3 for 3 with a couple of walks. So Trea wasn't the reason why. He also got a hit in the 9th inning today to try to maybe spark something. So Trea this entire homestand has been absolutely fucking fantastic. And if this is going to be Trea Turner the rest of the year, which I do believe with the way he's been swinging the bat, because his bat swing and just his approach at the plate looks 20 times better, yeah, here and then he might strike out on that outside pitch that he just waves at. Hasn't been doing it as much, though. Hasn't been doing it as much. Looks like there's a different presence at the plate when Trea Turner is there. That's what I'm taking away from this. Nick Castellanos as well. Nick Castellanos was fantastic this entire homestand with the power. That was fantastic. Stott was amazing this homestand. JT was fantastic this homestand. So there are aspects that I can draw positives from this homestand to think that I'm not going to be, overly crazy after this series loss. Also, you could put into the factor that they played so many games in so many days, and maybe they just finally got tired. They used all the energy on Friday, and they, didn't have much on Saturday and Sunday. That could be something. I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm just trying to, find some, answers. Yeah, you could also say that they had the off day on Monday because of the rainout, but to make up for that, they played 2 games on Tuesday. So they're going to have 2 days off this week, Monday and Thursday. They play a 2-game series with the Toronto Blue Jays up in Toronto. Zack Wheeler and Nola are going to be on the mound. So you get an off day tomorrow, travel up to Toronto, you play 2 games there. Then you have Thursday off before you play the Washington Nationals again. So what am I going to say? Just bounce back. Bounce back. Make this series look like just a blip in the radar. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. I want to take the positives from this homestand because the offense was on absolute fire. I don't care if you're going to keep saying, oh, it was against the Royals. Oh, it was against the Nationals. This team needed that. This team needed that. They needed to find a way to find that spark. And if they keep that spark going into Toronto and they continue it into Washington next weekend, this series is a blip on the radar. Complete blip. That's what I'm going to take away from this, especially with the way Trea Turner has been swinging the bat. Now, Kyle Schwarber, looking at, the way he's been going lately, he's been amazing at getting walks. He's been amazing at working the count lately. But, the power-wise, hasn't had a home run since his 2-homer game against Washington in the doubleheader. So, yeah, Kyle Schwarber basically at this point has been like 1 home run a week. So he definitely does need to be a little bit better at the plate in terms of, driving those guys home because, 2 chances with bases loaded could have put the game away. could have definitely put the game away, and we could be looking at this series in a completely different perspective. Completely different perspective. Kyle Schwarber knocks in 2 runs in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Then he knocks in a couple of more runs in that 7th inning bases loaded opportunity, and then Bohm drives in a couple of runs as well. You're looking at a 7-3 homestand. Sadly, that wasn't the case. Now, what do you do after this? Take the day off, wash it away, make it look like a blip on the radar. You bounce back in Toronto. Now, granted, the pitching is still going to be a little tough on this stretch in Toronto. I believe you're facing Kevin Gausman in one of these games, and Kevin Gausman is a very nasty pitcher. Very nasty pitcher. And also, you're facing Yusuke Kikuchi this series as well. He's 9-4 with a 3.53 ERA, and he has been very nasty in his last so many starts. If I'm looking at his last, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 starts, he's only given up 4 runs in his last 5 starts combined. So yeah, he's coming in on a hot streak. And that was the same way with Pablo Lopez coming into Saturday's game. In his previous 4 starts before last night, he only allowed 5 earned runs combined in those 4 starts coming into last night. And with Sonny Gray, he's been Mr. Consistent the entire year. Mr. Consistent. He's had 23 starts this season. Well, not including today. Well, now you can probably include today. So 24 starts this year, where only 7 of those starts he's allowed 3 earned runs or more. So you're looking at 17 other starts where he's allowed 2 earned runs or less. That's uber consistency. He's got a near sub-2 ERA in the low 3s at this point. That's how consistent he has been the entire year, and Pablo Lopez was just on a hot streak coming into that game. Now, am I trying to say that's an excuse? No, it shouldn't be, but you ran into 2 hot pitchers. You're going to be running into another hot pitcher on Tuesday, though, but you'll have a day off in between that to prepare. And I want to see what this offense does in Toronto. The ball does fly in that ballpark, so I want to see what you're going to do against that team. They're also a team that's fighting for the American League wildcard spot. They've been in and out as a bubble team at this point, in and out of that 3rd wildcard spot, if I am correct on that. Yep. Yeah, they've been battling so far with the 3rd wildcard spot between them and the Mariners. They've lost 3 in a row, the Blue Jays. And I'm sure, did they lose today? If I'm assuming that's the point as well. The Blue Jays. No, they won today against the Cubs, so okay. So if you're looking at the standings today, yeah, you didn't really get much help because the Miami Marlins, who were losing 7-3 in the 9th inning against the Yankees blew that one. I watched it in front of my eyes. It was ugly. They get bases loaded in the 9th inning. Clay Holmes gets a grounder back up to him from Josh Bell. He completely misses his first baseman. 2 runs score because of that. Then he gets into an 0-2 count to Luis Ariz. For some reason, he's throwing him a hittable pitch right down the middle. He laces it down the line, ties the ball game up, then eventually the Marlins win. So, yeah. Yankees were no help there, but then the Marlins, they're playing the Astros next, they're playing the Dodgers next, so I'm not worried about them right now. The Giants, right now, they have lost 4 in a row, so you're still 2 games ahead of the Giants. You're 3 games ahead of the Marlins. Right now, you're 3.5 ahead of the Cubs. So you still got that cushion a little bit. Got a little bit tinier because you lost these last 2 games. But say if the Giants were to lose to Texas again today. Right now, they're winning 1-0 in the bottom of the 4th. They got 2 runners on with 2 outs. Texas has already won that series because I believe they won last night. So right now, yeah, the Giants have lost 4 in a row so far. If they were to lose again, that would go back up to a 2.5 game lead. If the Giants were to win, it would be a 1.5 game lead. So, okay, so right now you're not getting help with the scoreboard right today. Sometimes it's going to happen. All you can do, control your own destiny, find a way to bounce back. That's all you can do at this point. That is all you can do at this point. Just is. It just is. Just is. It's what you got to do. It's what you got to do. It just is. I know definitely there's some people in this chat that are frustrated with this. We do have a voicemail here from Sean, so I'm sure Sean is very frustrated with the lack of the hitting with runners in scoring position, which is very understandable. Very understandable. You went over 14 with runners in scoring position in the last 2 games. You definitely are. But I'm going to look at this more positively with just the entire homestand in general, with the way the offense was. Because the offense was built for power, and the power showed up this week. Let's see if that continues. And this, especially with Trey Turner. Especially with Trey Turner. That's the way I'm going to look at it. I may be wrong. I may be proven wrong. And yeah, if I'm proven wrong, I will rightfully criticize this team. I will rightfully criticize this team. Will they make me look foolish for being positive? I have no idea. But that's the approach that I'm going to take. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. I'm not asking you to agree with me. That's just the way that I'm analyzing this series. Your offense went quiet in the last 2 games. You ran into 2 hot pitchers. Yes, that's not an excuse because you had many chances to score. But the homestand as a whole, Trey Turner is back. Nick Castellanos has been fantastic. Stott, JT, they were fantastic this homestand as well. Ranger had a good performance today. Who else? Christopher Sanchez pitched good once again on Friday. Maybe can Aaron Nola bounce back or not bounce back? Can he just build off of that start that he had against Washington? Like I said, the bar is very low with Nola at that point. Taijuan Walker, his next start is going to be skipped, which I do think it's a pretty good idea from Rob Thompson because I think at this point he's dealing with dead arm because that lack of velocity in the beginning of the ball games just doesn't make sense. Like, I don't know if it's a routine thing. I don't know what it is. But something has to be different. Something has to change there. And maybe, skipping his next start would be that next chance. Maybe it would be. But no, I'm not saying, you won 2 series coming into this game, and you lose a series. You're going to lose series. That's what's going to happen. You're not going to win every single series. That's impossible. To win you're going to lose a series. Even the Braves lose series. That's what happens. But yeah, 6-4 on the homestand, it's not what I asked for. I asked 7-3. I'm still very frustrated with that aspect. I can look at this frustratingly, but also take positives from the homestand and think that those are more important than harshing on the negatives. That's what I'm taking away. Yeah, umpires made a terrible call that changed the complexion of the entire game. It was bad. But also, you had more chances to score earlier on in the ball game too. So there's also that. Let's see how they bounce back. In Toronto. Because if they don't bounce back in Toronto and, these 2 games are a recipe for what we're seeing in the next couple, yeah, then I'm going to be annoyed. And they're going to make me look absolutely stupid for being positive and trying to take positive aspects more than harshing on the negatives. That's what I want to try to focus on here. So, that's where I'm standing. Because if we look at today's game, 3-0 loss, Schwarber over 3 with those 2 chances with the bases loaded, Alec Boehm 1 for 4, Harper over 3 with a walk, Nick Castellanos over 4, Stott over 3 with a walk, Turner 1 for 4, Cave 2 for 4, Stubbs 1 for 4, and Rojas was over 1 with 2 hit by pitches. So, yeah, you got hit by pitches a couple of times. You went over 4 with runners in scoring position. Ranger Suarez, 6 1/3 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 8 strikeouts, a home run allowed, 92 pitches. Best start Ranger has had in a little bit. Hopefully he can build off of that. Sir Anthony Dominguez finished off that 7th inning, allowed 1 hit, 12 pitches. Craig Kimbrell came out for the 8th, went very quickly, only threw 10 pitches. And then Dylan Covey, yeah, maybe that wasn't the best decision from Rob Thompson, putting Covey out there in the 9th. But then also there was a play that Jake Cave should have had at first, where he didn't go after the ball. He went to first base instead, probably believing Bryson Stott would have got the ball at second. That wasn't the case. And then a run scored because of it. So, yeah, mistakes there. Alec Boehm also made a couple of mistakes at third base today. Even though the balls were hit very hard, he also made a fantastic catch, too, in foul territory. So a very mixed bag for Boehm in the field today. But then we're looking at last night's ball game offensively. Schwarber 0 for 5 with 2 strikeouts. Boehm 0 for 4. Harper 1 for 4, Castellanos 2 for 4, Stott 0 for 4, Turner 3 for 3, JT 1 for 4, Cave 1 for 4, Castro 1 for 4, 0 for 10 with runners in scoring position. Pitching wise, Taijuan Walker 5 innings, 3 earned runs, 3 hits. No, 3 earned runs, 3 hits, 6 walks. So yeah, the walks were a major issue yesterday for Taijuan. That was one thing I forgot to bring up. 2 strikeouts, 2 home runs allowed, 94 pitches. So yeah, not the best, not a good outing from Taijuan. Strom had a solid inning, struck out 3, only allowed a hit. Soto struggled mightily, allowed 4 earned runs. Marte struggled as well, got sent down because of it. And Hoffman had a very solid 9th inning, striking out 2. So that's where it is at right there. And if we're looking at basically everything right here, Giants are still winning, beating the Rangers 1-0 in the top of the 5th. So we'll see where that goes. Marlins, Yankees didn't help the Phillies today. So that sucks. But looking at the schedule for this series upcoming with the Blue Jays, Zack Wheeler, Aaron Nola against Kikuchi and Kevin Gausman. Gausman's 9-6 with a 3.04 ERA. He has been very good this year. In his last couple of starts, 7 innings against the Guardians, 0 earned runs, 4 1/3 against the Baltimore Orioles, 3 earned runs, 6 against the Angels, 1 earned run, 6 against the Mariners, 4 earned runs, 6 against the Tigers, 2 earned runs. So he's been very up and down, I guess, in his last 5 starts. 2 earned runs, 4 earned runs, 1 earned run, 3 earned runs, 0 earned runs. So we'll see what happens. He did pitch against the Phillies earlier this year. I believe that's one of the games the Phillies won in extras. But he went 6 innings, allowed 3 hits, 0 earned runs. He struck out 9 on 99 pitches. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how. We'll just have to see how. And then we go to an off day on Thursday. Then you get that weekend series with the Washington Nationals, one of those games being a neutral site at Williamsport in the Little League thing. Lorenzen's going to be on the mound that series. Walker, well, it's saying Walker right now, but I don't think that's going to be Taijuan Walker because they are skipping his next start. Ranger Suarez, he's going to be pitching on Sunday. And then you're coming back home for 9 games again against the Giants, which would have huge implications for the wild card, against the Cardinals, and against the Angels. So definitely not an easy stretch there, but you got to find a way. Got to find a way. Because this is where, basically after the Washington series, the schedule does get a little tougher from here. Because with San Francisco, with the Brewers, with, the Padres, the Marlins, the Braves, and stuff, this is the time where you got to step up and win your games and win your series. Sadly, you weren't able to do that today, but bounce back. That's what I'm asking for. That is what I'm asking for. That is what I'm going to be asking for. So we'll see how that happens. So yeah, that's where I stand on this game. So before we do anything else, let's get to the Anytime Hotline to see what Sean has to say. You can leave your thoughts and reactions at 215-839-9885. Anything on Philadelphia sports, anything like that, reactions to games or anything like that. So definitely leave those there. But like I said, let's go to Sean, see what he has to say.
So let me get this straight. The Phillies scored 19 runs in the first game of this series and 1 run in the remaining 18 innings. I mean, that says it all. But that's the MO with this offense. When you're swinging this offense, you're going to go through peaks and valleys. Today was a day where the Phillies had to manufacture runs. They had opportunities to do it and couldn't get it done. I knew they were in trouble in the bottom of, the second. You have first and third and 1 out, and Garrett Stubbs strikes out. Then you have bases loaded, and Schwarber strikes out. Then Bohm strikes out with the bases loaded after Schwarber leaves a guy on third by popping up to the infield. Sometimes it's not about the 3-run homer or the bases clearing double. Sometimes you simply just got to put a ball in play. Drive a ball to the outfield deep enough to get a run, hit a ball to the right side, ground out, but score the runner from third. It's the little things. And again, when you have a peak and valley offense, things like this are going to happen. And right now they're in a valley. And, with Toronto next in Toronto, it's going to be tough. Tough series ahead for the Phillies.
Yeah. You had to manufacture runs today. You didn't do it. You didn't do it. That's basically the bottom line there. But I do think the home run ball for this team, that's what they're built off of. And that's what we saw basically throughout the entirety of this homestand. And that's, how they got so successful last year. That's how they were so successful in the postseason. So that's just the way this offense is. They're built off the long ball. There have been many times throughout the season where the power wasn't showing up, but this homestand showcased that power is there. And especially, with Trey Turner swinging the bat now, again, which is really important. Nick Castellanos hitting for power and being consistent, that's important. JT showed some power during this homestand, had a couple of home runs as well, which is really good to see. The main thing is, you need Schwarber to go back on a hot streak because he's been very in the peaks and valleys as well. I would like to see Bryce going on a hot streak. That's what I want to see because I don't think Bryce Harper has gone completely nuclear yet. He's had some moments, but hasn't gone completely nuclear, and I think he's way overdue for that. So there's still time for that to happen. But right now, you lose a series, let's make it look like a blip in the radar. It's what you got to do. Toronto's going to be up next. 2 tough pitchers on the mound for that series. Offense has got to be up for it. You can't let these 2 games spiral into something that's going to be very frustrating. You built up all that wild card, insurance over this homestand. Don't do that just to lose it. Don't do that just to lose it. Find a way to keep building off of it. Build off the positives of the homestand and go into Toronto and kick some ass. Because they're also a team that's going to be fighting for a wild card spot. They're a team that hasn't been playing their best baseball lately. So go and take advantage of it. Yeah, they're going to have hot pitchers coming into that game, but I don't care. I don't care. Find a way. Find a way. So, like I said, I'm going to take the positive approach with the offense, with the way it's swung the bat. This homestand, still frustrated with a 6-4 homestand. That's not what I asked for. That's not what I asked for. And especially after you blew them out in Game 1, I was assuming it was going to be an easy series win. Sadly, that wasn't the case. But you're not going to win every series. It's just not going to happen. Now, you're getting into the back stretch of the season. The schedule gets a little tougher from here. Let's see what you can do. Let's see what you can do. Still got one more series against Washington, one more series against Miami, and then you're going to be seeing the Braves a lot. You're going to be seeing the Mets a lot, which should help you in the standings because the Mets are waving the white flag. Should. You're also going to be seeing the Cardinals a couple of times, which they're not a good team. You are going to be seeing the Giants, which will be a tough task because there are major implications for the first wild card spot. Got to do it. Got to do it. No ifs, ands, or buts. It's just got to happen. So I'll get to the live feed here before we end off this stream. How you doing, David? Crappy game. Home umpire sucked. Ridiculous. Extremely wide strike zone. Felt bad for Ranger because you can't make up a pitching error because the lineup was not hitting. Exactly. Ranger had his best start in a little bit, so hopefully that's something for him to build off of. The umpire was rough. You never see Bohm get that pissed off at anyone. It's what happens when your umpire is just absolute shit and should be fired. Ump lost his lunch on the reverse change when Harp got hot. After this team worked so hard to get a hit in the wild card, I hope they are not taking a step backwards. I don't think they are, Scott. I think this could just be implications of you ran into 2 hot pitchers this weekend, and also you were on the back end of a very long stretch of games without a day off. Even though they did have a day off because of the rain out, it kind of, evened itself out with a doubleheader in one day. So it evened itself out. That's still a lot of baseball in a long span of time. So maybe they just need a day off their feet. Yeah, the unplayed umpires were terrible. Terrible. The Harper call was a little closer to a strike, but really, what was that? That was really 2 ugly calls. What are you looking at? I don't know, Scott. Mind freak. I was at that game. That home up sucked. Oh, yeah, I heard the Philadelphia fans, they were just standing, ump, you suck. Ump, you suck. Kind of sounded like a hockey game, honestly. With the ref, you suck. Ref, you suck. Kind of sounded like that. Bringing some Flyers action in here. What? Kind of sounded like that. The Wells Fargo Center going crazy. Sounded like it. Iris also at that game. The umps were horrible. No, American loyalists, I feel like you're being sarcastic here, but no, this is not the late season collapse. I don't think that's going to happen this year. I am disappointed. I really thought the Phillies would have won 7 or 8 games in this homestand. I thought that too, so Scott. I thought that too. Jad says umpires are terrible. Yes, they are. I do agree with that. Tough series from Philly Insider Podcast. How you guys doing? Off topic, but I don't want to get into the Wander Franco stuff. That was ugly. Ugh, no, I don't want to touch that. I don't want to touch that. That's disgusting. No. 3-2 road trip coming up to it would be nice if we can go 5-0. Well, they're not going to win every single game. You split in Toronto. Maybe try to win 2 of 3 against Washington. That's basically what I'm saying. 2-game series. Yeah, they should be in the grand scheme of things. You should be able to win a 2-game series like that. But split Toronto maybe, and win a series in Washington. Go. Oh yeah, that is 3-2. I was thinking for some reason I was thinking 4-1, but that would be like splitting in Toronto and sweeping Washington, which is definitely still capable of. Maybe that can still be capable of split in Toronto, sweep Washington. Maybe that should be the goal. And this team knows they can do that. They just won a 4-game series against them, so it's doable. It's doable. So let's see how the team bounces back. That's all we can do from here. If people want to be frustrated, they can be frustrated and say the sky is falling. I'm not saying that. I'm frustrated they went 6-4 on the homestand when I demanded 7-3 at least. But I'm going to take the positives from Trey Turner, Nick Castellanos, the power and everything there. That's what I'm going to take from. And let's see how they bounce back. That's all I'm going to say here. So yeah, I think that's where we're going to call it today, boys. I appreciate you guys joining the live streams as always. So don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. I'd like to see those and answer and respond to that stuff. Don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It does me a great deal of service. Surpassed 800 subs. Let's get it closer to 900 and then closer to 1,000. I appreciate everyone here that does hit that subscribe button. So if you're new to the channel, definitely recommend hitting it. And if you're currently subscribed, definitely recommend us. Recommend me to other people. Let's see. Let's see what happens there. Also, use the code TTPSPORTS, $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Great deal. Don't pass it up. So, thank you guys once again for joining tonight. I'll see you next time. Maybe we'll do something tomorrow for the off day. Have to make a decision there. Maybe we'll talk some Eagles or something like that just to get, the juices flowing there. Well, we'll just see. We'll decide. We'll see what happens, where the day goes. But, like I said, everyone,